The tremor passes through the stone before the sound arrives. It is a defining law of the abyss. The clan grips the cliff face, their bodies thin maps of desperation. They are the sky-minus dwellers, a lost lineage of Homo habilis clinging to existence in a vertical world. This is not a life. It is a waiting room carved 1,000 feet above the mist. Below them, the world is a green, screaming floor they cannot reach. Above them, the sky belongs to gods with beaks like spears. The sickness is upon them again. The elder female, her skin drawn tight over bone, rubs the cramping muscle of a young male. His sweat is thin, lacking the vital sting of salt. Their bodies are forgetting how to hold water. This is the curse of the high canyons. The rain washes everything clean, leaving nothing the body needs to grip life. A shadow eclipses the sun. It is not the passage of a cloud. It is a shape of mathematical terror, a geometry of hunger. A Quetzalcoatlus coasts the thermal updrafts. It is the size of a giraffe, yet it rides the air. Its landing on the opposite spire is an earthquake in miniature. A clatter of shale and a deep sea lack of a keratin beak that echoes like splitting mountains. The creature is covered not in scales, but in a dense, rust-colored shag of PYC fibers, shivering in the high altitude wind. This is the reality of prehistoric life. Mankind is the moss, and the dinosaurs are the mountain. The clan's gaze follows the winged titan. They look past its terrifying silhouette to the cliff face at gods. There, shimmering in the thin light, is the white vein, some crystals of it, thick as a man's arm, left by an ancient sea that dried million years ago. It is sustenance. It is survival. It is 30 yards of open air and a sheer drop away, guarded by the largest flying predator prehistory has ever known. The clan possesses an arsenal of scavenged misery. Their primitive technology is an osteodontochoritic nightmare of shattered raptor claws for points and sharpened ribs for awls. Tools taken from the bones that litter the canyon floor far below. They are useless against the masters of the air. 2 days pass. A child dies, its body seizing from the ground. The community grieves with dry eyes. The elder points to scouts, a mated pair, toward the low pass. It is a sliver of rock, a natural bridge barely wide enough for one hominid to crawl, connecting their cliff to the misting spire. It is passable only at dusk, when the wind dies and the titans settle. The two move like smoke, their bare feet knowing every crack. This is the desperate intelligence of ancient humans. Do not fight the avalanche. Wait for it to pass, and steal the pebbles it leaves behind. They reach the halfway point. The abyss sighs beneath them. Then, the wind shifts. One of the hunting pair, the male, looks up. The Quetzalcoatlus on the high nest has not moved. But another, unseen, rises from below. It is not hunting them. It doesn't even see them. It is merely returning home. Its wing, a 40-foot membrane of leather and bone, clips the stone bridge. The impact is accidental, casual, inevitable. The two scouts are swept away like dust, their thin screams dissolving long before their bodies reach the jungle floor. The clan watches, immobile, etched into the rock. The salt remains untouched. The sky gods are indifferent to their attempts at theft, and the abyss demands its payment. Despair settles like frost in the high, thin air. The loss of the scouts has stolen more than just 2 lives. It has stolen the clan's belief in stealth, their last meager advantage. Now, there is only the gnawing sickness and the patient watch of the sky tyrants. The clan shrinks, their world reduced to this single ledge of suffering. This is a brutal lesson in the ecology of this prehistoric world. For every niche of survival, there is a gatekeeper. But true human evolution is not a story of muscles, but of mind. It is the agonizing process of a brain learning to see a wall not as an end, but as a door with a hidden lock. Kale is the one who watches. He is not a hunter. His frame is slight. His hands better suited for chipping flint than for wielding a heavy club. But his eyes are different. While others see the Quetzalcoatlus as flying death, Kale begins to see a creature. He spends his days pressed into a crevice, observing the nesting spire. He notes the rhythms of their lives, the dawn hunts, the midday basking, the guttural calls to their young. The whole scene could be a living dinosaur documentary, an unblinking look into a life that existed before humans were even a whisper on the wind. He sees their power, but for the first time, he also sees their irritation. The colossal beasts are agitated. They scrape their long, stiff necks against the rock, twisting in ways that seem impossibly clumsy. They snap at their own wings, a motion of profound frustration. Driven by a desperate curiosity, Kale risks the lower path, crawling not to the salt vein, but to an outcropping just below the lowest nest. The stench of guano is overpowering. He hears a dry, skittering sound on the rock wall near the nest. He sees them, ticks, but monstrous. They are the size of a man's fist, their bodies swollen and purple with blood, their legs scrabbling in the shaggy pea. Why see no fibers of a sleeping juvenile? The giant AZHD orchid is an ecosystem unto itself, and it is being bled dry by its passengers. Here is the lock. Here is the weakness. A shared enemy. He returns not with a plan for war, but for peace. A bargain. The idea is heresy. The elder listens, her face a mask of stone as Kale explained. The clan recoils to approach the titans, to touch them. It is madness. They have all seen what the beaks can do to the carcass of a triceratops dragged from the jungle floor. The debate is short and brutal. The old way, hiding and starving, is a guarantee. Slow death. Kale's way is a near-minded certain first one, but it contains a flicker of possibility in a world of impossible choices. The study of anthropology shows us that hominid history is defined by the moment a group chooses the terrifying, uncertain path forward over the familiar path to extinction. The elder hands Kale along, sharpened scapula, not a spear, but a comb. Kale walks the wind-minus scoured bridge alone. The clan watches, a silent gallery of the damned. He does not carry a weapon. He carries the bone comb and a single, clear thought: we are both trapped here. He approaches the lowest nest, where a massive female rests her head, her eye wider than his skull, tracking his every move. He stops 20 feet away. He does not look at the salt. He holds up the comb, then slowly, deliberately, begins to groom his own arm, mimicking the scraping motion he witnessed. The titan watches, its head cocked. Then, Kale takes a step forward. A low hiss, like steam from a volcanic vent, escapes the creature's beak. He freezes. He places the comb on the ground and slides it forward. He retreats a few steps and waits. The Quetzalcoatlus stares at the bone, then at the man. It lifts its gargantuan head, extends its neck, and with an impossibly delicate motion, nudges the comb with the tip of its beak. It is not an attack. It is a question. The first word in a language that will forge a new kind of survival. A symbiosis. The female Quetzalcoatlus does not move for a long count of heartbeats. Her great eye, a pool of ancient, reptilian intelligence, blinks. The sound is like a leather sheet snapping in the wind. She shifts her weight, the movement sending a tremor through the stone bridge, and lowers her head slightly, exposing the thick, shaggy coat of PYC no fibers along her neck. It is a gesture of trust so profound, so utterly contrary to the laws of this world, that careless breath catches in his throat. The single act redefines the entire history of early humans. He steps forward, retrieves the bone comb, and with a hand that trembles not from fear, but from the sheer weight of the moment, he reaches out. The first touch is electric. The fibers are coarse, like dry grass. Beneath them, the skin is warm, a network of powerful muscle over bone built for flight. He finds one of the parasites, its armored body, latched near the creature's jaw. With a grimace, he uses the sharpened edge of the scapula to pry it loose. The tick comes away with a wet pop. The titan shudders but remains still. He crushes the parasite under his heel and moves to the next. For the next hour, Kale works, a tiny mammal servicing a living mountain. A scene straight from a fever dream of prehistoric planet. He is not a hunter, he is not prey, he is something new. When he is finished with the area he can reach, he steps back. The female lifts her head and lets out a low, cattle rumble. It is not a threat. It is something else. She then turns her gaze from him, nudges a loose shale slab with her beak, and pushes it aside. Behind it, exposed and glittering, is a section of the soul vein, an offering, a payment. The treaty is sealed not in words, but in deeds. Over the next cycles of the moon, the clan becomes the keepers of the nests. They are no longer the sky-minus dwellers. They are the groomers, the salt weavers. They use their osteodontochoretic tools not for butchering, but for cleaning. They learn the individual titans, their tempers, their favorite grooming spots. The young members of the clan, born into the alliance, show no fear, clambering over the resting juveniles, picking them clean like pilot fish on a shark. In return, the Quetzalcoatlus grant them access to the white vein. The clan's health returns, the salt sickness vanishes. The children grow strong. This fragile pact between human ancestors and dinosaurs is a landmark of hominid history. But the innovation does not stop there. One day, a small landslide blocks the main path back to the clan's cliff dwelling, cutting off two of the women who were gathering salt. They are stranded. As dusk falls, one of the largest males, a titan Kale has named Sky-Cleaver, lands near them. He has been groomed by these two females for seasons. He watches their distress. Then, he does something extraordinary. He lowers his massive wing. Laying the broad, leathery prop you am almost flat against the ground. An invitation. Trembling, the two women climb onto his back, clinging to the thick fibers near his neck. With a powerful downbeat that throws dust and pebbles into the abyss, Sky-Cleaver launches into the air. He does not soar high, but glides across the 30-yard gap and lands gently on the clan's ledge. It is not a flight of aggression or chance. It is a ferry. The clan has not just found a way to coexist. They have tamed the wind itself. They have forged an alliance that turns the most dangerous predator in their world into their greatest asset, a turning point in the epic of human evolution. From the high spire, the world looks different. The clan now moves between the cliffs not with fear, but with purpose, sometimes on their own feet, and sometimes on the backs of gods. They have woven themselves into the fabric of this vertical world, their survival no longer a matter of hiding, but of partnership. The soul they gather is not just for themselves. They have begun to trade it, using their winged allies to carry heavy crystalline loads down to the forest floor, bartering with land-minus bound clans for hides and obsidian. They are becoming architects of a new economy, powered by the sky. This incredible leap from cowering prey to aerial merchant was not born of strength, but of observation. It was born of the courage to see a monster not as a foe to be slain, but as a problem to be solved, a fellow creature to be understood. This is the seed of our species' improbable ascent. It is the audacious gamble that intelligence, empathy, and cooperation could be weapons far more potent than any claw or tooth. It is the echo of a single, trembling hand reaching out not to strike, but to groom, rewriting the very definition of power on an ancient earth ruled by titans. How many times in our own long history have we stood before an insurmountable obstacle, forgetting that the key is not always a battering ram, but a hand offered in peace? This is not the end of the story. It is the first word. Then below, in the steaming jungles, something new is learning to hunt in packs.